Hey, Garage Logic fans, I do a podcast on the Garage Logic Network that comes out every Wednesday and Friday now, twice a week. But here's an important caveat. There is zero logic available in my show, in the formal definition of logic. Of course, life is a yin and yang kind of thing. There's the logic side, and then there's the what the hell side, which needs to get its exercise. So come for the what the hell and stay for the you've got to be kidding me. Mishki, now Wednesdays and Fridays, twice a week.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1629, September 29th, 2025. 89 degrees was the record high on this day in 1897. It was 27 degrees on this day in 1945. And I have more to say about that in a moment before we talk to Rick Kupchella. Do yourself a favor and call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you! And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
Rick Kupchella, forgive me, I got to get this off my chest. Over the weekend, at least one TV meteorologist, if not more, finding it impossible to just enjoy this beautiful weather, had to blame it on climate change. And I saw, because I'm a nerd, I looked some things up. 25 of the 30 high record temperatures for September around these parts were established before 1970. That probably doesn't mean much. They also, the same 25 out of 30 days in September high record temps were established before 1960. And then because I really nerded out, I just kept going down. 24 of the 30 high record temps for September were established before 1950.
So you had a big weekend, is what you're saying.
I stopped. I could have kept going, but I stopped. So enjoy the weather, and I don't think the world is ending. Rick Kupchella is with us. Rick was a longtime Carol Evan TV news reporter, has been involved in numerous enterprises since then. But you now, sir, have a new documentary coming out called what?
Precarious State.
And that airs Thursday night.
It does. Right.
On ABC stations.
ABC stations.
Including here.
Including here.
Is there a reason it's only ABC stations?
Well, I've found, based on my prior experience, that if you can stick with one network and there are changes under network rules,
right,
at least it's all going to be the same, and I'm not dealing with a bunch of different network rules.
And this is an hour-long documentary.
Yeah, it's going to run from 7 to 8, and no commercial breaks, straight through.
Give us the short version of what it's about. Then I'm going to grill you.
Okay, so it's really, I'm scared.
Don't be. You shouldn't be.
No, it's this is really. I mean, it started as honestly a pet project, just trying to figure out. I mean, people always say in the news days, "How'd you get an idea for that story? Mm-hmm. How'd you get the idea for doing that?" You know, and the answer has always been just paying attention.
Right.
You know, paying attention to what's happening around us.
Which many Minnesotans are not doing.
I think that's very true. They certainly, I think they do not fully, I don't think they even, not only do they not fully appreciate what's happening here right now, but I think a lot of them are just detached.
Uninformed.
And in this day with all this media, the idea of it's not more knowledge, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. It's like a major distraction game, right? Mm-hmm. And there's so much reality anchored around what we're facing at the moment in terms of crime, in terms of economic development, okay, in terms of education, these kind of fundamental elements of society that are in this market, in this state, mm-hmm. in measurable decline, not just relative to ourselves, but relative to most of the rest of the country today.
Is it pretty much focused on the Twin Cities?
This hour looks, I'd say, think of it as about 80% cities centric. Right. This is the engine of the state.
Right.
Okay. 80% cities focused, and about 20% it is state focused.
All right. Does the documentary focus primarily, when it gets to the cities, on Minneapolis?
It over-indexes on Minneapolis, yes.
And is there a point at which you think Minneapolis was not in a precarious situation, and from that point has flowed to this direction? Did you pick it? Do you have a time in mind when you thought Minneapolis was healthy?
Yeah, and I'm going to answer that question in the context of all the people I've been talking to, and many of them, and these are all kinds of citizens and business owners in this community that talk about, 18 going into 19, feeling like best of times, right? And when I started talking to people about this initially, I'd called friends of mine, mostly in business, and I would just say, come on down, let's go and have lunch. We're going to go on a walk, okay? Just going to go on a walk through town. And I want you to tell me what you see. How do you describe what you're looking at here? Because to me, it looks beyond precarious, right? It looks very unhealthy. Right? And I got a lot of... These are smart people, okay? I swear. I know them. I trust them. I'd take their advice on damn near anything, okay? And they're saying things like, this is what post-pandemic malaise looks like all over the country. This is what work from home does to downtowns everywhere. And I listened to this for a little while, maybe a week. And I started really pushing back and going, okay, come on. You still travel, right? You go some other place. You're not only here, all right? I mean, other places are not really experiencing what this looks like. It isn't. They aren't. And that just got me to start digging, It just fell back into old school dog with bone, What can I find here that measures the contextual reality in a meaningful way that could help us? And initially I thought I might write an article on this or something. That's what I thought. And the more I started digging into it, the more stuff I was finding, and it became breathtaking.
I'm glad you pushed back, because I do think working from home has a role in the decline, and I do think the pandemic has a role in decline, but by no means do I think it's the root cause of the decline. And I'm tired of hearing that the pandemic is used for an excuse for everything. Do you examine the political decline?
Yes.
Including the governor?
Yeah,
because he might be the worst governor in the United States.
Yeah, well, I'd love to hear. Yeah. What's the
your
piece
thoughts?
That you got out? The pieces you got out. This may be the first time in history. You said the other day that we have a governor that's running against the president.
Running for governor of Minnesota against the president of the United States.
Yeah,
because he had nothing else to do or say. He's been a complete failure.
I mean, I looked at that. I thought that is fantastic characterization and contextualization of what's happening. And it's about as wild out there, as much of what you're going to see in this doc.
And we've also elected professional activists who are politicians in the city council in both towns. And I don't know. I'm anxious to see this documentary. I'm anxious to see how this is all captured, because I don't know what the future holds. Do you attempt to draw that conclusion, what the future holds?
Well, I've been struck by the number of people that reach out on social and other places. And, I'm laying out very specific stats of WTF, right? What? This does not end well unchecked, right? And I get answers back like, well, you're going to talk about all the good things that are working, right? You're going to talk about them. And I haven't really engaged with that very much. I mean, there is definitely hope in this story, but that hope only has a chance if the public has a clue what's going on.
How would you account for the public becoming so disengaged? What has happened to the public?
Well, I would say, it's intimately tied. Okay, you're asking my opinion here.
Yeah.
It's intimately tied to what I think is what's happening with media, right? Mm-hmm. This is a transition that is going to outlast both of us, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just a fact. And I don't think people fully appreciated. I mean, when I left CARE in 2009, I was just saying to management, I don't see where we're going. Mm-hmm. By and large, a lot of the particularly video media companies around still haven't gotten their arms around social, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, I left in 2009. People were getting in trouble for being on Facebook in the middle of the afternoon, with management. And I remember one manager coming up to me at one point going, "Hey, that's like literally not allowed. You can't do that." And I'm like, "Well, that shooting, we just had 2 dead in Minneapolis, and mm-hmm. I just got the mom and mm-hmm. I got the cousin. Mm-hmm. You're going to fire me? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? I don't understand this, But it's that is a big part of the reality. Where to look, for deep news, and it's a major defunding, right, that is going on in first of all, everything, frankly, right. But including a lot of the media channels, and a lot of that has to do with just we haven't quite figured out how do we get back to monetizing this in a way that drives more strength.
It's taken 5 years, just for example, and nothing has happened with this so-called George Floyd Square. Nothing has happened. I bet the documentary includes that. Am mm-hmm. I right?
Yeah.
And I got to think at some point in the documentary, do you focus on the leftism of the city council at all?
We look at I want to say you're getting to kind of the nut of this thing, and you're getting there fast, and it's not a surprise to me at all. But this is something that I have. First of all, 2 years
is what I've 2 years.
2 years, dude.
Wow.
Okay. Year one was started with me in those walk around towns. Okay. And then it was me just figuring out this is probably more than an article. Right. And then at about a year point, I actually put together a deck on what I'd learned. And I went around to business organizations in particular because I really think that is the backbone of our society and our vitality, essentially, certainly economically. And I started getting funding from various organizations mm-hmm. in this pursuit. And then in the last 6 months of this thing, we've been able to recruit substantial talent into helping me work on this. This core thing that you're getting at, we do get at. We're not really teasing it out terribly at this stage of the game. We're just not. But we've done a ton of work in the space to look at, root cause issues. And
among them would have to be Democratic socialists on the city council who hold business, if not capitalism entirely, in contempt.
That is true.
Well, I mean, how can you rebuild without acknowledging the need for the small businesses?
I got to tell you,
businesses.
Joe, you got to know this. I know you do. So, in this effort to raise capital and to kind of generate interest and awareness, the number of people, the overwhelming share of smart people that I've been talking to. I always use DSA first. I'll use it as an acronym, and almost nobody lets that pass because they're like, wait, what are you talking about? And then I define it, and they're like, so you're talking about, mm-hmm. like they don't know what I'm talking about.
Is there this is going to sound odd. Are most people doing so well and are so comfortable they've ignored the city councils of both towns?
I don't know. Is
that possible?
I think it's I want to say it's more than possible. I think that's definitely factually happening.
Well, I can see it on the shore of Lake of the Isles, but I can't see it citywide. I can't see such a comfort that people don't realize what's happening to them.
I'm telling you, they don't.
Jeez Louise.
You know, Rick, one of the things I wanted to ask you, I spoke to Pat Garofalo earlier today, and I know he's featured in this piece because he's going to fill in for Joe tomorrow. And he basically said the biggest thing that's plaguing the state of Minnesota right now is mass migration. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And then who's leaving? If people are so comfortable, who's leaving?
Well,
the people who do know what's going on.
Well, definitely. I mean, they're very clear on why they're leaving. They're very specific. And, we're talking about a situation today. I mean, you look at the last 3 years on record, you're talking about net negative migration tied to wealth, $5 billion exiting the state of Minnesota. Okay, that's net. Okay? I mean, that's net. That's after we account for everything coming in, right? And when you look at, and a lot of people are like, oh, okay, so Rick, really, are you going to sit here and talk to us about net negative migration to Florida and Arizona and Texas? Yeah, we're going to talk about that, but I want you to focus on the net negative 500 million that we lost to Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Okay? Let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Quit. Yeah, people might go someplace warmer might make it their home. You look at the challenges list. Obviously, includes a lot of regulatory and tax. I mean, there's no greater flat rate corporate tax in America than what's here. Mm-hmm. I've run into people that I'm talking to here. I swear that have told me that their accountants, have explained to them. They really would be better off if they moved to California. Okay,
oh God, help us!
I'm telling you, that is like literally true, and it is and not only that, but these finance folks are also telling me it is getting tough right now. It is getting very tough because we have come to the conclusion. These are financial advisors saying. We have come to the conclusion we must sit down with our clients and explain to them they will do better almost anywhere else.
And I think what that does, when somebody like Chug Tai and Chowdhury and the rest of these screwballs on the city council hear that, I don't think they care. They don't care.
They do not. They don't. There's documented proof, and you'll see it in this. You will see it. Mm-hmm. It's clear. This isn't, it's not, we're not throwing darts after 2 years here.
If it took 2 years, I can't wait. I think it's going to be neat.
And depressing.
Yeah. Is it depressing?
There's a lot of hard truths in here. I told I wrote out in social early, I think first volley on this to say that what I was doing about, a couple months ago. And I just said, you know what? Some of this is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's measurable. It's extremely measurable. And either we recognize it, we face it, we strategize for, we think deeply about, is this the way we want to go? Mm-hmm. Or is this not the way we want to go? And then we act on those things. Here's what I don't know after 2 years. I don't know what this community will do with the information. Okay?
Interesting.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. I have definitely run into folks who think this new path is the way. We can't find evidence of its success. Okay? We can't find it. We can't get direct answers from some of the participants in it. Where has this worked, right? It doesn't work.
Meaning democratic socialism.
Mm-hmm. Where does it work?
What is this something that you spent 1989 to 2009 in the television news business? Are you a native Minnesotan?
No, born in Pennsylvania, raised in Kentucky, and I did a lot of television before I got here.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you think this is something that one of the TV stations should have done? Should they have beaten you to the punch on this? Why was this left to you to do it?
No, who can you give me an example of anybody literally like working today in broadcasting that is given a leash as long as the one that I've taken advantage of?
Well, I mean, I work here, so that people will take it with a grain of salt. I can't think of anybody short of maybe a couple of people working for 5. Jake Holes, maybe.
Yeah,
but
okay.
it would require them to go in and say, how long is my leash? And I think I'm proposing this, and let's do it. And I don't see the TV stations doing it, much less the newspapers aren't doing it.
No.
Was KSTP and ABC the only ones that reached out to you about putting this on their airwaves?
No, I mean, I initiated the conversations with them to be
And
clear,
they were good with it.
and they were very good. You know, yeah.
So this is ABC affiliates in this state will be running it.
So you've got KSTP,
Right.
Okay, that's the kind of the granddaddy in the whole scheme here,
Right.
And then DIO out of Duluth, KAL. We're also working with Forum in Fargo.
Yep.
WDAY is going to carry this.
Sioux Falls,
and
right?
Sioux Falls as well.
Thought I saw that.
Yeah. So that design is simply to ensure that this hits every Minnesotan or has the opportunity
Right.
to hit every Minnesotan with those western parts of the state as well.
How's your garage door? Do you have a garage door at home?
Wow, what a segue.
I do. I've actually invested a shitload of money in my garage door.
Well, if you did, I hope it was with Precision Door, because if you need a new garage door, now is the time to have your garage door looked at by Precision Garage Doors. If you need a new door, they have models for every budget. They send out a designer. That consultation, of course, is free of charge. And if you like well, let me tell you this, $100 off a single door right now if you get a new door, and $200 off a double door. But they also have a noisy door tune-up special for $149. If that thing's making a racket, you might want to check it out before you're dead in the water in January. You get a 25-point safety inspection and diagnostic. And really now would be the time to do this. I've had garage door troubles in the middle of winter, and that's not fun. So get ready for the cooler weather ahead. Annual maintenance reduces future wear and breakdowns. Book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
The shop guys at Hubbard Broadcasting, boy, they know what's up. They're into gator hooks in a big way. Oh, wait, pardon me. That's the building services personnel
Get it
at
right.
HBI. Yeah.
The professional dummies.
Yeah. When you got a bunch of folks all needing to use the same tools at various times, those tools better be in their proper place, or somebody's going to get the old stinky side eye, and that's why our shop guys went to GatorMagnetics.com. They used code GL20, and they ordered a bunch of kits with the lightweight steel panel systems and a whole lot of hooks. The hooks, they can hold up to 45 pounds. They're not going to slide off, and there's a variety of different hook options along with baskets to choose from. And these steel wall panel systems mean you can put them anywhere that you don't have steel, the garage, the shop, mudroom, laundry room, whatever. Go to GatorMagnetics.com. Check out the videos. Oh, and you know what? We also have our own GL bundle there. But whatever package or hook combination you settle on, GL20 is the code you use at checkout. Shipping, always free, but it's imperative. GL20, that's going to save you some cash. Clean up your mess Hang your woes on a gator hook from GatorMagnetics.com.
We're joined by Rick Kupchella. You'll recognize that name. He was a longtime Care 11 newsman since 2009, involved in other enterprises. And I'm guessing your news nose got the best of you, to come up with this.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Here's a question. Could this be, what's the opposite of precarious? What's a good word for the opposite?
Secure.
Could this documentary have been done the other way? In other words, if you said, I'm going to set out to do an hour documentary on how great the Twin Cities are and Minnesota is, could that be done?
To what end? I mean, it's...
No, maybe I'm phrasing it wrong.
No, I get your point. To make it seem like the city is vital and vigorous.
Could this
and
have been
vibrant.
done to portray a healthy Twin Cities in Minnesota?
It would be a very creative set of math that you'd have to use.
I can help you. It would have been Tim Walz's campaign video on loop for 60 minutes. In all seriousness.
Well, but he's running against Trump. So.
That's true. He's got a big campaign ahead of him.
Joe, I know how your optimistic, super positive story would start. It would be a close-up shot of my studio in the morning at 7:30 when I have gridlock on every single camera. Because what I'm seeing now on my side hustle, reporting traffic in the morning, our levels now are at the same rate that they were at before the pandemic. We have gridlock from about 7:15 to about 8:45 every morning.
Tell me you're not talking about 394, because I know that they closed that whole expressway.
See, that a little bit there, Rick. But what? And I realize some people they're not all going into downtown Minneapolis. They're turning off on 94 and then maybe going to St. Paul or going down to South Minneapolis. And the same with southbound 35W. It's jammed from the Roseville curve into downtown. Not all cars are going into downtown. Some of them continue on through the south side. But I'm seeing levels way up there again.
Okay. And you use that so just inherently, it's tricky for me to turn around and talk to you like
you don't
this.
have
So forgive
to.
me.
No, don't worry.
You don't have to.
But
no.
it measures activity,
Yeah.
right? Does it measure something else?
Not for me. All I know is when it's busy, I'm happy. On Mondays and Fridays, I'm very unhappy because everybody takes Mondays and Fridays off.
Yeah.
The busier the freeway is, the happier the traffic.
You know what, though,
reporter
Kenny?
is.
I think I can answer your question because in one of the clips that I saw, Rick, you were interviewing a gentleman who had owned several different apartment building complexes.
Oh, yeah.
And those are now basically vacant. Mm-hmm. And he just said, I'm out of this game.
Yeah.
And I think that's more of the story. That, yes, okay, take me, for example. I've worked in the city for 25 years. I live in Jordan, Minnesota. I can't keep moving further away fast enough. And I think that tells the bigger story where people, yes, they might still work here, but they don't want anything to do with it. They get in their car the second their job is over with and they go home.
Yeah, you're not saying the traffic's up because they're leaving. Just making sure.
Well, but you know what I'm saying? I think it has more to do with the people are just deciding they don't want as much to do with the city as they once did.
Here's what I think. Here's a problem. The people we've managed to elect believe that vitalization is demonstrated by street fairs and farmers markets and festivals and let's have a big dinner downtown where we sit all along Nicollet Avenue or Hannah, whatever the mall is. And what it is a complete ignorance of the foundations of Minneapolis and St. Paul. They were major industrial hubs. They were the home of the milling industry to a great extent, the home of the railroad industry, at least in this part of the country, manufacturing. And we don't have, we've not elected people who have any knowledge of that history. We've not elected people who have any fondness for that. We've not, in fact, we've elected people who hold that kind of image of the Twin Cities in contempt because They believe it was all rigged and it was done by too many white people, and therefore we're here to completely change the whole landscape. And when they view their changed landscape, there is no room in their view for what makes a town healthy in the first place, which is employing a hell of a lot of people. And we're not seeing that.
No. And Kenny, to your point on, what to measure, or what are the metrics? Let me just share some, if I can, of the key things that I'm paying a lot of attention to. First of all, Bureau of Labor Statistics data. Mm-hmm. Bureau of Labor Statistics started shortly after the pandemic in what I would call a kind of a pre versus post pandemic health checkup. Where are you today, major metro area, relative to where you were in February 2020 with payroll employment? Okay?
Yeah.
It's simple. It's people working for a living. Right? So 2019 is pre, right? If you look at the top 14 markets in the country that are answering this question on a regular basis, those top ones change, right? They evolve, but by and large, the top 14 markets currently have increased payroll employment collectively 2.7 million net new paychecks.
All right.
Okay? Compared to February of 2020. We're not on that list.
All right.
Big surprise. Our answer is, Bureau of Labor Statistics, we're still not back to where we were in February 2020. Another net negative reference. One of my producers is like, nobody knows what net negative is. They have to. We're going to help them understand what it is, because those numbers are the ones that are showing up in damn near all the data. Okay, so we're in a place where, for much of this year, the only marketplace in America performing worse than MSP was San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's the only one. Now we're like 42 on this list of 49. Okay, we're still net negative. Okay, we're not close to the winners. If you look at the top performing market, and we went down to Austin and looked at this. We also went out to San Francisco and looked at that. We looked at Seattle, which is another place that some of the stuff you're referencing. But in Austin, state capital, right? That's a blue city in a red state. We didn't want to even mess around with red cities. We just look at blue cities. This is what this town knows, and that's fine. That's fair. Austin's a blue city. Austin's number one on the list in terms of growth over itself, up 20% in payroll employment. Okay, and so we just look at what are the things that they've done to take care of the dip they saw right after the pandemic started, like everybody.
What did they do?
Right? They did several different things, but one of the first things that they did was they had established a record of understanding the value of economic growth, right? And one of their key consultants down there across many governmental units sat down with us and said, "Look, one of the things we've always paid attention to is when times get very, very hard, you have to figure out where does the money come from to keep this going, and what are the kinds of things we can put in place to help ensure that even if we get knocked down, we have an ability to get back up based on how we've engineered this, because we know what drives economic growth." So anyway, this is one example, payroll employment. Okay, right now, Minneapolis, St. Paul Metro is nearly half. They're near 49.7%. Most people would just call that half, right? Of our buildings in the downtown area are in economic distress, what they call really financial distress. And by that, they're talking about behind on loans and behind on their ability to re-engineer their debt. Okay? We're last on that list in the country, or first on the list if you look at most distressed, okay? You guys have, you know about a lot of these stories about the individual buildings that are down, but we looked at, with CBRE, we went out and looked at just the biggest most iconic buildings in the city, all the tallest ones. And the tallest buildings here that are kind of the icons of we're talking now very specifically about Minneapolis, but that number one most distressed was MSP. Mm-hmm. Okay, Class A towers on average, these are the tallest. That's the best way to think about it. Mm-hmm. They've lost 60 to 90% of value. And we know, just based on the Ameriprise example, it goes north of 90.
Well,
right?
IDS just sold for pennies on the dollar not that long ago.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that we're measuring and asking, where does this go? Meanwhile, the city council in Minneapolis the other day passed in the relative scheme of things, not a whole lot of money, but it's $280,000. They passed an ordinance to provide $280,000 to those living in encampments to clean up the encampments.
Yeah. And they're not encampments, they're drug markets.
That's exactly.
Now, did you find, or do you have any belief that the council members, for example, in the Twin Cities, are consulting with economic statisticians and understand and are concerned about what you just said? Any? Did you find that, or do you have any confidence that our city council members are engaged in just what you told me?
Joe?
Here we go.
I'm going to talk to you about this in depth right after Thursday, but I wanted to give you a sense of where we're running.
That's a guy that knows how to sell a product right there.
There's a teaser.
I'm just saying. Population.
Well, God can tell you your answer. Your answer is no.
I love a man that knows the answer to his own questions.
That's right.
I love that. I know.
Well, it's almost like you don't want to steal the touchdown call on the documentary. Oofda.
Well, imagine, just pick one of the city council people in either city and imagine them saying, I really need to talk to a financial statistician to see where we rank in the United States and how we can improve that. I don't see that happening.
No. If you did, I want to know. I want to check your medications.
Yeah.
Did you find any silver lining? Is there any glimmer of hope?
Yeah, you said there's hope.
I mean, but something specific, because I don't see anything.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Rick. Memorial Day weekend, I told these guys, I took the boys downtown. Beautiful weekend. Timberwolves were in town. We went to the Twins game. Half of the places downtown Minneapolis aren't even open anymore. Yeah. And there was 1 million people down there.
Right.
I just don't know how it can sustain this.
I'm quite, the only thing keeping downtown, with sidewalks at the moment is the fact that, we've got some good sports action.
Yes.
We've got some theater events that are really drawing people down there.
Concerts.
But I can't imagine where they'd be right now without those events, because it's not, but for that,
right.
They're not people down there. In the middle of that year one, one of my kids came home from, she lives in Chicago, for crying out loud. She came into town and we're walking through the city, and we're deep in some, talking about something. I don't remember what it was. But she just becomes totally disengaged. We're on Hennepin. And she goes, and I'm like, you with me? You with me here? She goes, Dad, what is happening? I said, well, you get it honestly. And I'm like, well, what are you looking at? She goes, well, where are the cars?
Where is everybody?
What's up with these folks over here? She's just looking at some folks that are passed out on the street. I went to the Lynx game the other night with my daughters and my wife, and there's just a dude sprawled out in front of First Avenue, people stepping over him to get to the game. And it's just hope. Okay, let's get to that. I want to make sure, and it's where that comes. Where I see hope is just it has less to do with what I'm measuring. Obviously, this looks that we've got a public, which if I didn't think we did, I swear to God, be here, right? We have a public that as it begins to understand how we are measurably in decline, that they will, in turn, start digging themselves. They'll stand up, at least, and get involved in this direction, mitigation, right, of where we're headed. And, I really believe in the power of education helping people. And you can measure that on individual, personal way into crowds. And my hope is, my prayer is, and I'm waiting to see, what happens? Where do they go with this? Is this just become demagoguery and, a bunch of screaming and spitting and, or are people going to ask for sources, which I'm going to provide liberally, and lean in?
It's called Precarious State. It airs Thursday night, 7 p.m. here locally. Why don't we plan to meet again following its airing? Let's let it air and see what the fallout is and chat again. Would you like that?
I think that would be great.
All right.
May I ask a quick question before you sign off?
Yeah.
Rick, do you remember the last time you and Joe were together?
No, I do.
Well, I do. We were all at the U2 concert together.
Oh, my God.
And
He was there?
Yeah, he was sitting next to you. And I know he remembers it vividly. But here's the best part about that show. It was about halfway through, and my then pregnant wife had asked Joe, because he was getting up to go get something from the concession stand. I knew exactly where he was going, to the nearest cab to get home. And he had left halfway through the set, and that woman was pregnant at the time, and that kid is now going to be 14 in a month.
Yeah.
That's how long ago
I don't
that
remember
was.
Rick there.
He was sitting right next to you.
We had seats next to each other.
He was holding you up. He was holding you up.
No. I was
No. He was well behaved.
I was in good form.
Is he bringing me my water? We're never going to see him again.
Rick Kupchella. It's called Precarious State. It airs Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you, Rick, for joining us.
I really appreciate it.
And let's talk again once we know how this is going to play out with the public that needs to become awakened. Say the Center of the American Experiment puts on a really good, they put on good evenings, and they're having one Friday, October 10th at the Omni Vikings Lake Hotel in Eagan. They're bringing in Michael Schellenberger, author, journalist, California truth teller. You just heard Rick tell us that you'd almost be well, no, not almost. There are certain people in Minnesota who would be better off in California. That's how bad it is here. Schellenberger will straighten you out. He sounds the alarm on failed policies around crime, homelessness, and environmental extremism. It'll be a lively reception and great views, a powerful message that matters now more than ever. Get your tickets today, Friday, October 10th, Michael Schellenberger. Get your tickets today at americanexperiment.org.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Let's talk once again about Awaken 180 Weight Loss, the proven weight loss program that's built for anyone. Weekends can be a little bit tricky, but you know what? That's okay. That's what they're there for. It's a lifestyle program. No medications, no workouts required, and also no fasting. You eat to lose weight, and it's a solution that's worked for over 800,000 people. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. It's a clear daily plan. There's no complicated tracking or counting. You get one-on-one weekly coaching for accountability, and you also have a coach that's going to help you pick out restaurant menu items. It's the at-home program built for any lifestyle whatsoever. You still get to go on vacation. You can still go out. You can still tailgate. You can still have drinks. There's thousands of recipes, so meals don't feel like diet food. It's fantastic. Your energy level is going to go up, and you are literally going to lose weight. It's fantastic. So do me a favor. Go to their website, awaken180weightloss.com. That's 180, awaken180weightloss.com, or call them directly for that consultation today at 844-346-1800, or again, awaken180weightloss.com.
It was very quiet yesterday in the governor's race between Walz and Trump because Doug in Sioux Falls lets us know that he was in Dublin for the Vikings game, and Cockwomble was there.
Really?
In Dublin. I suppose we had to pay for that. He also said that Croke Park is a dump.
Well, it's been around for a million
It's
years,
a big
right?
ballpark, though.
Yeah. 75?
Ballpark.
Is that what we had at the game? At the tilt yesterday?
I didn't see 1 minute of that.
Boy, you didn't miss much.
Yeah. Here's John Heidt in his newsroom.
Thank you, Joe. This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. The DFL State Executive Committee is considering today if Omar Fateh should be recognized as the DFL-endorsed candidate. Remember, this all stems back from the Minneapolis DFL convention back in July. Fateh won the party's endorsement in a late-night vote at the convention, but others raised objections with the process, pointed out flaws and missed votes during the event. A month later, the Minnesota DFL vacated the city party's endorsement of Fateh, saying a review panel found substantial failures. Well, the Minneapolis DFL then officially filed its appeal earlier this month and wants the state party to restore the results from its convention and respect the will of the delegates. It's unclear how long it might take the state committee to make a decision. Early voting in Minneapolis, of course, is already underway in that election. Condolences are pouring into the Wood Lake Fire Department's social media after a fire truck crash that left one man dead and two others, including a 6-year-old boy, critically injured. The Yellow Medicine County Sheriff's Office says the crash was first reported shortly after 6:30 Friday night. First responders arrived at the scene and found that a Wood Lake fire truck had flipped onto its side in the ditch. A 43-year-old passenger ended up trapped under the truck and was pronounced dead at the scene, according to the sheriff's office. He's been identified as Patrick Stephen Reminger of Wood Lake. Additionally, 37-year-old Andrew Van Heck and a 6-year-old boy were taken to a hospital, airlifted to Avera Sioux Falls Hospital for treatment. Both have injuries that are considered life-threatening, according to the State Patrol. The patrol is investigating the crash, but says early info suggests the fire truck was headed north when it rolled and entered the ditch. None of the victims were wearing seatbelts at the time. The crash report from the State Patrol also says alcohol is believed to have been involved. Authorities say the fire truck and those inside were in Cottonwood taking part in a Lakeview homecoming event. A post from the Wood Lake Fire Department just before the crash included pictures of the celebration, which included members of the fire department. The sheriff's office says the truck helped escort the game ball nearly 10 miles and took part in a homecoming parade.
Oh, boy.
Minneapolis police are looking into a double homicide from Saturday afternoon in the Loring Park neighborhood. 1:51 in the afternoon, police received a call for a fight inside the first-floor lobby of an apartment building at 15 East Grant Street. The first officer who arrived on the scene arrested a man without incident. A shotgun and shotgun shells were recovered at the scene, according to authorities. The man who was arrested was identified as Robert Cadell Warren. One man was found dead inside the first-floor lobby. Another man found dead in the second-floor hallway. Minneapolis police say that all three men are believed to be residents of the building who knew each other. Early information suggests there was an argument between them that escalated to gunfire. Homicide investigators say they're working to figure out exactly what led up to the argument and to the shooting. And travelers will soon have one fewer airline option at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. A spokesperson for Spirit Airlines confirming the airline will stop service to Minneapolis December 1st.
What's going to entertain us at the airport? What is going to make us have a great day?
The decision is part of an ongoing restructuring, in the words of the spokesperson. The budget carrier, known for its bright yellow planes and no-frills service, any travelers who have already booked flights on Spirit after December 1st will be contacted by the airline and given a full refund. The move comes after Spirit filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last month and amid plans to furlough 1,800 flight attendants before the end of 2025.
You seem somewhat dismissive of Spirit Airlines.
We're going to return your full fare of $17.95.
I'm going to need all that.
Yeah.
Now, Matthew, Spirit, that's the one that they stopped 3 times on the way to Chicago, right? For more gas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that is, Kenny, the source of such great social media entertainment where there's the couple that's, I'll be late. And they said, sir, we can't put you on the plane. It's already in the air.
Yep.
And then the fight breaks out at the counter.
They only stopped twice, Kenny, on the way to Chicago. Rochester and Madison.
It's 3 times coming back.
And you can, if there's no seats available, you can just stand, right?
Yeah.
Grab a strap.
They got the strap.
They got the bus
Grab
straps.
the strap. Yeah.
Why don't we take a break at this point and hear from our friend, the mayor of Garage Logic, Mr. Joe Soucheray.
The beautiful weather continues. Get to EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake / Columbus on Highway 97, just west of the interstate. The way it's headed, man, we got a lot of great electric bike riding left, and they're the electric bike capital of the world, not to mention the world's greatest motorcycle manufacturers, gas-powered scooters, youth recreational equipment, 4x4s, side-by-sides. I'm sure the winter equipment is being laid in as we speak, but forget winter. Right now, it's still bike riding time, and EcoFun Motorsports has you covered with the best electric bikes in the industry. That's why they're the electric bike capital of the world. They're in Forest Lake / Columbus, brand new building.
Look at that thing on TV.
It's only about 2 years old. That's a Yamaha.
That's beautiful.
Jet ski. Yeah. Well, there's still time for that given these temperatures.
Look at that fish.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Fish will jump.
I didn't know we had a neat video
It's
like
like
this.
Bert on Sesame Street when he goes fishing. Bert and Ernie.
And EcoFun Motorsports also in Burnsville on the service road of life near County Road 42. And I'm warning you,
that thing is cool.
Very dangerous website because you're going to want to get in your car and get to EcoFun Motorsports. EcoFunMotorsports.com.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Soucheray.
All right, listen up. You got today and you got tomorrow to take advantage of the fantastic sale going on right now at We Are Nuts and WeAreNutsMN.com. 25% off all Kowalski's Markets and also Lunds and Byerly's. They got those sweet end caps that are at those locations, including
Hey, wait, whoa.
Fratelloni's.
They got the chocolate-covered nuts?
Do you see
what is that?
On YouTube right now?
Almonds.
No,
chocolate-covered
I have
almonds?
to have those. Get them for me now.
Okay, I will. I'll stop in at Frat's later today.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, though. What you're seeing right now are their amazing holiday gift packs. We used to get them here at Hubbard. Back when times were good. No, I'm kidding.
The good times.
But for all of you business owners out there, it's a great gift for your employees. They have so many different specialty gift tins that are available for everybody out there, and they sell a ton of them. So get your order in now if you think that that's the route you're going to go with. The extra large whole cashews are a fantastic hit with a lot of people, but they have all of that selection that's available on their website, which is, of course, WeAreNutsMN.com. You know what? Like I said, call right now. WeAreNutsMN.com, and please mention to the entire family that the Garage Logic podcast sent you their way.
You like dark chocolate or milk chocolate almonds?
I'll take them either way, Rook.
Okay.
Rook's a dark chocolate guy.
Yeah.
In other news, national and international, unfortunately, mass shootings leading the news today. An assailant targeting the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan yesterday, killing at least 4 people, wounding at least 8 others. Police identified the suspect as 40-year-old Iraq War veteran Thomas Jacob Sanford. According to records released by the Marine Corps, Sanford served for 4 years during the early years of the global war on terror. He enlisted in 2004, was discharged in 2008 at the rank of sergeant. During his enlistment, Sanford held 2 different job specialties that focused on vehicle operations and maintenance, neither of which are likely to have exposed him to any type of specialized explosive or munitions training, according to authorities. The attack began just before 10 in the morning when the suspect drove a pickup truck adorned with American flags into the church where services were underway. He then opened fire on congregants believed to have set the building on fire. The attack came after a mass shooting in Southport, North Carolina on the evening before Saturday night, where a separate combat veteran killed at least 3 people and wounded 8 others. The shooting, which law enforcement officials described as a targeted and highly premeditated attack, occurred around 9:30 in the evening at the American Fish Company bar in Southport, North Carolina. A spokeswoman for the city, Cheyenne Ketchum, said the gunman fired on a crowd after pulling up to the dock, then escaped on a boat. He was captured by the U.S. Coast Guard just after 10 p.m. On Sunday, city officials identified the person as 40-year-old Nigel Edge of Oak Island, North Carolina. He now faces 3 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. The authorities say it's a lone wolf attack, but they did not provide a possible motive for the shooting. The chief there said the dockside bar was a targeted location. The attack was highly premeditated.
I wonder if God is prone to disappointment or embarrassment. My might not be in his purview.
Okay.
Shane Tamura.
What is the attraction with the churches? I don't understand that.
Large gatherings, unfortunately.
Okay.
And unprotected generally.
Unprotected, yep.
Okay.
Shane Tamura, the man who drove cross country from Las Vegas and opened fire at the New York headquarters of the National Football League, killing 4, had CTE, according to the New York City office of the chief medical examiner. Police found a 3-page note in Tamura's pocket after the shooting, claiming he had a traumatic brain injury, blaming the NFL for concealing the dangers to players' brains to maximize profits. Elsewhere, Tamura wrote, "Study my brain, please. I'm sorry for people killed in that shooting."
I'm sorry. I'm not buying this. I'm not a big fan of the NFL as a corporate entity. I think they get away with whatever they want to get away with. Well, if you play football, you know damn well the risk you're facing. They're not hiding it.
What you're signing up for.
Yeah. You're signing up to be, your brain's going to be a block of cheese by the time you're 50. Thank you.
Thanks for that uplifting look in sports.
I don't know how to answer that. President Trump on Saturday directed the Pentagon to send U.S. troops to Portland, Oregon. It's not yet clear which branch of the military would be deployed or when. The decision comes as protesters meet regularly outside an immigration and customs enforcement facility in the city. Demonstrators have at times turned violent, with protesters charged with assault and federal agents releasing tear gas.
John, did he mention anything about how he plans to campaign against Governor Tim Walz?
Nothing about the governor recently, anyway.
He's really expressed a lot of confidence in his...
you like his chances here?
Trump has expressed a lot of confidence in his race against Walz.
Officials put the leader of Iowa's largest school district on administrative leave Saturday, one day after federal immigration agents arrested him because they said he's in the country illegally. The Des Moines School Board voted unanimously to place Superintendent Ian Roberts on paid leave during a 3-minute-long special meeting. The board said Roberts was not available to carry out his duties for the 30,000-student district and stated officials would be reassessing his status after getting more information. After the meeting, School Board President Jackie Norris read a statement saying word of Roberts' arrest Friday made for what he called a jarring day, but noting the board members still didn't have all the facts. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said agents detained Roberts because he was in the country illegally, didn't have authorization to work, and was subject to a final removal order issued in 2024. ICE agents stopped Roberts while he was driving a school-issued vehicle, and the agency said he then fled into a wooded area before being apprehended with help from the Iowa State Patrol. He was being held in the Woodbury County Jail in Sioux City in northwest Iowa. Norris said, "I want to be clear, no one here was aware of any citizenship or immigration issues that Dr. Roberts may have been facing." On Saturday, the Iowa Department of Education released a statement saying Roberts stated he was a U.S. citizen when he applied for an administrator license. The department said the Iowa Board of Educational Examiners conducted a criminal history check with state and federal authorities before they issued a license. President Trump said yesterday he will attend Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's gathering of military generals tomorrow. That meeting is to discuss how the military is doing, the president said. He said, quote, "It's really just a very nice meeting talking about how well they're doing militarily, talking about being in great shape, talking about a lot of good, positive things. It'll just be a good message." Trump's participation in the meeting raises the possibility of a politicized event in front of a nonpartisan audience of military leaders, not unlike the controversial campaign-style remarks he made to uniformed personnel at Fort Bragg in North Carolina in June.
Couldn't they have saved a lot of money by just doing that on Zoom? I mean, you're flying boys in from all around the world.
But aren't you dealing with...
just get on Zoom and do it.
Aren't you dealing with top secret information?
No, hell no.
The Chinese will never find that.
No, you can do that.
Okay.
Nobody can hack into Zoom.
Sure. That's never happened before.
You're having a laugh, right? I don't need to debate this, do I?
I don't think you do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
This morning, President Trump announced...
I think he just gave you the, okay, Joe.
Okay. Noted.
He noted me.
Yeah.
This morning, President Trump announcing 100% tariffs on movies made outside of the United States. In a social media post today, Trump announced plans to impose a 100% tariff on anything made outside of the U.S. In the post, he singled out California, saying the state has been particularly hard hit. There's no word when or how the tariffs will be enacted, but it would be the first time the president has threatened to place a tariff on a service rather than a good. Earlier this year, Trump said other countries have offered tax incentives that have drawn filmmakers abroad, which has in turn hurt the U.S.
Now, when I heard this story, I thought, is this going to rile up Hollywood even more, or is this going to make them want to like Trump because he's just eliminated their competition?
Oh, that is interesting.
Well, the
you're
actors
right.
and actresses don't know what the hell they're doing, but their business agents might like it.
Yeah.
You mean the ones that are screaming lefties or the ones that pretend to be screaming lefties?
Depends
Which
how
ones are you
much money
talking
you
about?
have.
Okay, got it.
New York Mayor Eric Adams announced yesterday he's dropping his third-party bid for re-election, narrowing the field for November's election. Adams said in a video, despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign. In the nearly 9-minute video, Adams, who enjoyed strong ratings from New Yorkers early in his term, but whose standing plummeted after he was indicted on federal corruption charges, which were then dropped by the Trump administration, said he hoped New Yorkers will see that despite the headlines and the innuendo, I will always put you before me. However, Adams' name will still be on the ballots this year because he left the race after the deadline to print them. The limited public polling on the possibility of Adams dropping out showed former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo benefiting, but a critical mass of voters also still siding with other folks. They all trail Democratic nominee Zohan Mamdani. Polls suggest if Cuomo has any shot at defeating Mamdani, it would come in a 1-to-1 race. Adams has not been a major factor in the race for some time. The public polls have shown him running a distant fourth place, with Mamdani staked to a double-digit lead over all other candidates.
New York's going to get what it deserves.
He had a little clip that went viral over the weekend, Joe.
Who did?
Mamdani, in which he said he will spend $100 million on attorney's fees, for illegals.
Oh, wonderful. Where's he going to get the $100 million?
Well, from you, the taxpayer.
Oh, I
Joe.
see. I see. Yeah.
That ought to go over real well.
So he would. I can take from that he does not believe this country should have borders.
Of course not, Joe.
All right.
These are our neighbors.
All right.
A former NFL star who became an FBI agent has quit the agency. Remember Peanut Tillman? Charles Peanut Tillman. He was a Pro Bowl cornerback for the Bears during his playing days. He explained his decision to resign from the FBI in an episode of The Pivot podcast released this week, citing his disagreement with the Trump administration policies on immigration. He said, "Let me start by saying this. The FBI was great to me. It did awesome. I worked with an amazing group of individuals. I think some of the things they're doing now I personally didn't agree with. Immigration. I didn't agree with how they came in and tried to make individuals do things against their ... An example being immigration. Everybody was told you're going to go after the most dangerous criminals, but you can see on TV that's not what was happening." He said, "I made enough money in my football career to where I could just walk away and say, you know what, guys, I'm good. My first 8 years here were great. It's been solid. We're doing some good things. Some of the stuff you guys are doing now, though, I don't necessarily agree with." Jimmy Kimmel Live, back on all stations now.
Hey.
We talked about Sinclair last Friday, and then in the afternoon Friday, Nexstar also put his program back on. So the two groups that weren't running them are all back. Both announced reinstating Kimmel after ABC itself brought the late-night talk show back following a brief suspension over comments about Charlie Kirk. And Elon Musk causing some controversy, saying he says the Anti-Defamation League, legal group founded to combat anti-Semitism, is a hate group. The tech billionaire made the comments on his social media platform X while railing against the ADL's classification of Turning Point USA as extremist. The ADL, founded back in 1913, according to its website, aims to stop the defamation of Jewish people and secure justice and fair treatment to all. The group is well known for opposing pro-Nazi groups during the 30s and for campaigning for civil rights legislation in the 60s. However, on X, Musk claimed that the ADL hates Christians, therefore it's a hate group. His post was in response to a influencer's claim that the ADL considers Christianity a hateful terrorist extremist belief. Both accounts were referencing a picture showing the ADL's inclusion of the far-right ideology Christian identity, not Christianity itself, in its extremism and hate glossary.
Thanks, John.
How are you?
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Need a lawyer, John?
Not that I know of.
Good.
Well, maybe, you know what?
Your kid might have.
He might, yeah.
Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys. Fortunately, your child was not injured, but he was in a car accident, and insurance companies can be tough to deal with. Bradshaw and Bryant provide you the team that'll get you through that. Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant and his team are there to explain your rights, represent you, help you through a tough time. Mike's the real deal. For 6 consecutive years, he's been recognized as a super lawyer and has been named among Minnesota's top 40 personal injury lawyers by Minnesota Law and Politics. I hope you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com for a free case evaluation. Bradshaw and Bryant says, please don't be part of the problem. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant. Well, go then.
Well, I think we should proceed.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move.
He's going to make a move.
Joe Souchere.
To North American Banking Company. That's where he's going to go. I'm going to guess Roseville would be your location, Mr. Mayor Joe Souchere. But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If you're tired of just being a number to your big national bank like I was, then look at my friends at North American Banking Company because they offer all of the services as those other big national banks. It does not matter whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been thinking about. They will be able to help you out. And they also offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks. But the key difference is you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. You see, when they first opened back in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers where you know your banker and they know you. So experience it for yourself, whether it's Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove. You can also check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Joe?
According to the Minneapolis Times, which is a site I am not familiar with, but they have a beautiful font. It looks like it was printed in about 1890. It's really neat. But according to the Minneapolis Times, Auren Chowdhury, she's a Minneapolis City Council member in the 12th Ward, southeastern corner of the city. She and her boyfriend, Aaron Wagner, are getting hitched. Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
That's great. Aaron Wagner is a Robbinsdale City Council member, so they're going to keep this a family business. Chowdhury said, my longtime partner and best friend Aaron popped the question in July at the scene of our first date at Lake of the Isles. Isn't that sweet?
Oh.
The problem is Wagner, he's an official in Robbinsdale, and that's where he owns a home. Chowdhury, being a DSA member of the Minneapolis City Council, of course, rents. She would frown upon owning, I would imagine. She rents an apartment, but according to this outfit called the Minneapolis Times, it's an openly known secret that she has been living in Wagner's house in Robbinsdale. Well, how could that be? Well, wait, you do have Keith Ellison represents the North Side, but he's at Harvard pretending to be a student and still getting paid. And so now Chowdhury, who represents
Ellison.
What did I say?
Keith.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah.
He's getting paid. And then this Chowdhury, who lives as far away from Robbinsdale as you can get.
Opposite corners.
In the city of Minneapolis, apparently is shacked up with the man about to become her hubby.
Joe, her press release makes it quite clear what's going to happen. May I read to you?
I wish you would.
We are in the process of bringing our lives together here in South Minneapolis. We couldn't be more excited. I grew up here, and the prospect of building a family here one day is a blessing I've only dreamed about. Minneapolis is my full-time home. It's the city where I fell in love and the city where Aaron and I get to start our next chapter.
That's cleverly worded.
It really is, yeah.
Because it doesn't answer any questions.
No.
Chowdhury.
Actually, it brings up more questions.
Chowdhury. You got to live in the city you represent. What does bringing our lives together mean, according to the Times? What does start our next chapter mean? Is Wagner going to move to Minneapolis? His house is not on the market. If Wagner moves to Minneapolis, will he have to give up his Robbinsdale council seat? If not, which of them will be violating residency laws? Back to Rick Kupchella for a moment. We had him in earlier today, and I appreciate the way he's gone about this documentary he's calling Precarious State. It sounds to me like he's got a lot of facts, figures, and statistics to show, if nothing else, this extraordinary economic decline of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis in particular.
Yeah.
But do you think Chowdhury really gives a bleep about any economic material that might affect the well-being of the city of Minneapolis? I don't think so. She's among the Democratic Socialists of America who I think they prefer to rent. They really don't have their eye on the ball. They don't care about business. They might very well hold capitalism in contempt, and they really don't give a bleep where they live as long as they don't have to pay for it. So she might be living in Robbinsdale at Aaron's house, or Aaron's going to give up. Well, I suppose the Minneapolis council gig pays more than the Robbinsdale council gig.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, because Ellison's getting $100,000 and he's at Harvard,
right?
And he's not even attending the city council.
No, he's double dipping too. He's getting that 64.
That's right.
Or maybe, based upon all of my interactions with my older brothers here in Garage Logic, maybe they've already understood the key to a very happy and successful marriage.
He keeps his house in Robbinsdale and she keeps her apartment?
Separate dwellings.
Boom.
Wow.
It's a boom.
That worked out well
Just
for
like
me.
the pros.
She was 155 miles away.
Didn't help, did it?
Joe, Ward 12, I would call that the blue-collar backbone of South Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper, Erickson, Hiawatha, Howe, Keewaydin, Minnehaha, Morse Park, and Standish. Those are all working neighborhoods.
Well, okay.
As many of the neighborhoods around the outskirts, I would say, of Minneapolis are the blue-collar, hard-working neighborhoods.
I wonder if Chowdhury would do this. You can pay a fee, and then you can go into the woods to scream and smack sticks together. It's called a rage ritual. So,
where's this taking place?
Well, let's see here. Scotland.
I'm already working on this.
Because we have a Minneapolis Scream Club. Remember, we talked about that a while ago.
Yeah. Remember they were behind a fence? That's the part I love best. They were behind a fence. Like
I've got a little bit of acreage. I've got a little bit of acreage.
Yeah.
I might be acquiring another residence that has a lot of bedrooms. I'm thinking Heidt Spa is what we're going to do.
Heidt Spa.
Heidt Spa.
Okay,
so we're going to have hot tubs. We're going to have steam rooms. We're going to have massages, chiropractors. And then we're going to go out to the woods and beat the shit out of the ground with broken sticks.
Well, listen to this.
Scream and yell.
Idea.
You're
and
on the
it's
right
only going to
track.
cost, Joe, it's only going to cost a mere $3,000 a weekend.
Well, somebody named Mia Banducci is the spiritual fairy godmother of this. It's in Scotland, and she charges $2,000 to $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's for
right on, Kenny.
that's how long is that? I
Based
don't know.
upon double occupancy.
A one-day version is only $222 a ticket. Participants gather large sticks while conjuring to mind every person who's ever crossed you, who's ever hurt you, who's ever ignored your boundaries. or taking advantage of you. After some warm-up breaths, they do some breathing. The screaming and swinging begin. The ritual is held in the woods so that the participants can make noise without fear of bothering people. So they got these in Canada, too.
It's $3,500. That includes Friday afternoon.
This is yours now.
Through Sunday afternoon and all meals inclusive. For an extra $2,000, $5,500, I will trap a woodland creature and you can beat the shit out of it. A raccoon, a cute little bunny, maybe a squirrel.
And this is called Heidt Rage?
This
is Heidt Rage?
This is Heidt Spa.
Heidt Spa. Wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm picturing a combination, Ken, of what Joe read and Fight Club with Brad Pitt, that movie.
Can I tell you something? Kenny, you know as well as I do, you could start this and people would show up.
Of course they would.
They'd pay.
And he'd probably get a government grant to do so.
Can you imagine me trying to deal with these people?
No, I can't.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord help me.
He'd have the Heidt Spa, and there'd be people showing up in Priuses right and left.
Be a millionaire.
With those coexist bumper stickers, which is a bit hypocritical if you're all about hate.
Your hate stick is a mere $100. I'll get you a hate
gift
club.
shop. It's got a gift shop.
There's got to be a hate gift shop.
Yeah. Our bumper sticker is simply F you.
Now, will the participants be covered in dirt and mud with bruises and cuts on their hands?
If they want, that's a little bit extra. But of course, we have showers and spas.
So
and
can the participants get pretty feral?
Yeah,
pretty wild.
You know what else we're going to offer is a bloodsucker and leech bath.
Oh,
where you
good.
can get into an old watering tank that we had for the cows.
Yeah,
and it's full of leeches.
That's therapeutic, isn't it? Exchanging blood.
Yeah,
or having your blood drawn by means of a leech.
We call it letting, bloodletting.
That's what they did in the old age.
What's that festival put on in the desert every year in Arizona or California? What's it called?
Coachella?
No, it's where Burning Man, where really wealthy hippies pretend that they're going to camp out and I think Kenny's onto something. You could become wealthy having a hate spa. That's where the world is right now.
There's a little corner of the property that we don't know what to do with. It's about 10 acres. We're thinking about opening up a it'll be all with paid actors, but a homeless camp.
Oh.
And all drugs are okay, and you can beat the S out of each other.
But you can watch them, in other words.
No, you can run amok. You
could pretend you're among them?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
the
fantastic.
full experience.
That's really wonderful. Only because they come to us all the way from pleasant-sounding Sant Martí, Barcelona, Spain, from the Traveling Lymans.
That does sound nice.
That sounds like a good place.
Well, it was on this day.
Joe, today is already September 29th.
Did I tell you?
Yes.
Did I tell you that 25 of the 30 record highs in the month of September were established before 1960, and 24 of the 30 record highs in the month of September were established before 1950.
Huh.
Did I tell you that?
No, you did not tell me that.
Climate change.
18 on this day.
On September 29th.
1837, Dakota leaders signed a treaty in Washington, D.C., selling their lands east of the Mississippi for about $500,000 in cash and goods. The treaty, along with the Ojibwe Treaty of the same year, opened eastern Minnesota to settler colonists. Representatives for the U.S. were Joel R. Poinsett and Lawrence Taliaferro, while Wapasa, or Wabasha, meaning red leaf, Wankinyan Tonka, Big Thunder, and Mazahota, Gray Iron, signed for the Dakota. It was on this day.
September 29.
1964.
64.
Rook, food related.
Juicy Lucy.
No, the Hostess Ding Dongs were invented.
St. Paul's first McDonald's restaurant opened on Fort Road. We call it 7th Street.
Yes.
A hamburger cost 15 cents.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
or exactly what it was worth.
That's probably the one on St. Paul Avenue? And
It's still there, yeah.
So it's the one right by 35E.
No, that's a Burger King that's been closed forever.
That's torn
This
down.
is right below. This is right in the right down there.
Okay. You can get there?
By Sibley Plaza.
Yeah.
That's, I think, where...
now, can I finish, please?
That's, I think, where I saw the orange Fiat parked one day on the right-hand side of
He was probably running into Dynasty to get some chow mein.
The St. Paul franchise was not the first McDonald's in the state.
Oh, no, it was Minnetonka, correct?
No, it was Bloomington.
You're wrong, and you're
Roseville.
wrong.
Oh, no, it's
Thank
Portland.
you. No, you're
Rick's
wrong.
right.
They had opened in Roseville in
I
1957.
know my food.
Wasn't it a drive-in? Was it a drive-in? No?
Is that the one across from
Don't ask me-
Harmar?
Don't ask me questions I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
On this day,
Got one thing right.
September 29.
1983, that's 42 years ago,
Yes.
James Jenkins and his son Stephen Jenkins, later known as Stephen Jenkins Anderson, lured Ruthven bankers Rudy Blythe and Toby Thulin to their 10-acre Pipestone County dairy farm, which had been repossessed by Blythe's bank, and killed them both.
Jeez.
The murder spurred a nationwide manhunt, and I remember this, ending with Stephen Jenkins' surrender and James Jenkins' suicide in northern Texas.
What a family.
Yeah,
Stephen
I do remember
Jenkins,
that. Yeah.
Stephen Jenkins, barely 18 at the time, professed his innocence but was convicted of the murder. 17 years later, he did admit in an interview that he had killed the bankers. So it sounds like the son did the shooting, huh?
Well, and who drove their getaway car?
I don't know.
All right, chumps, let's do this.
What the hell
What
just
in
happened?
God's name
How
do
do you
do?
guys not know what
All right,
Leroy
chumps, let's
Jenkins
do
is?
this.
It was one of the first viral YouTube videos ever.
But the sound of that was really odd.
It's overmodulated.
On this
It was
day,
cool.
on this day
September 29th.
in Minnesota sports disappointment history,
I'm not looking at him.
1981, the Phillies were sold to Detroit. What the hell is that?
What now?
Who are the Phillies?
The Phillies were sold to Detroit.
Phillies.
What year?
1981. What were the Phillies?
Minnesota Phillies?
Was that a basketball team? I wonder?
American women's professional basketball team.
I'll be damned.
Huh.
On this day,
On September 29th.
2005, baseball related.
05, we were still playing at the Dome. Did we have a collapse or did we come back? Because it was been the end of the year.
Torrey Hunter threw a punch at Justin Morneau
yes.
that instead hit Nick Punto.
Right square in the mush.
Yep.
But that's a Three Stooges bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. And you know what?
What was Hunter angry at Morneau for?
He wasn't being
Morneau.
Torrey was mad that Morneau was not being professional, and Justin Morneau says that's what made me grow up. He said it publicly, both on the broadcast and
What,
whatnot.
2 years later he was done?
No,
When did he
played-
have his concussion?
2011.
Well, okay.
He was
Yeah.
an MVP the next year.
I know, but I'm mad at Justin Morneau just like I'm mad at Kent Herbeck and Joe Mauer. None of them played long enough.
Oh, God, Joe. Get over it.
Morneau would have. He just couldn't do it anymore.
He played 14 years.
That's not
Morneau.
long enough.
What are
Played
you
25
talking about?
years.
Joe, when he had a concussion in Toronto in 2011,
I'm
he was
aware of it. He
going.
got hit at second base.
He was well on his way to winning his second American League MVP.
I'm
Everywhere
telling
he
you, I
goes-
thought he was a hell of a player. I'm disappointed that he didn't keep playing.
Listen, everywhere he goes, birds and stars are circling his head.
Yes.
4 years after that concussion, he won a batting title in the National League. So,
Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose side are you on, John?
Well, I'm kind of against Joe.
The
I
side
think,
of
on
the
this
law.
one.
Well, I
this
just
one.
wish some. I mean, Herbeck was, 12 when he quit? I mean,
He did
let's-
retire early.
Come on, let's go here. I don't know why we have to hear that. I
'Cause it's
really
one of the
don't.
greatest things
And
ever.
I only know that you did it because you were looking at him, and you're not supposed to be.
Leroy he just couldn't wait. He had 2 ADHD and had to go into the castle.
That is one of my favorite moments in our long and storied career together, Matthew, was showing you that YouTube video for the very first time because I thought you were going to wet your pants.
Can we? Are we done?
Yeah.
Are we done here?
Thank you.
Are you frozen?
I am on the phone. Hey, stay tuned for Monday Night Sports Talk coming up next. And if you haven't done so already, you should join the thousands of subscribers that we have on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. Yes, we've got a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show every day, starting right around noon. You can also see full segments. There's video shorts. There's behind-the-scenes footage even. But you can just search Garage Logic on YouTube and search for us on all of our very active social media channels, which includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all there for you. And you can also stay up to date by signing up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day. And
how do they do that?
It includes the most recent episode of the podcast. You can find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com.